Okay, here we are. I think we can start. So first of all, thanks to Nour, Alex, and Ioannis for being here today with us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, today we decided to invite them. So 3 students, part of the Master in Luxury Management right now, so currently in class, to talk a little bit about their experience, because usually we have sessions with professors or program directors. We preferred this time to have them in order to talk about their current experience. We invite all the participants if you have any question, please write them on the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Today, I just remind you that they are the main actors, meaning that we ask you to have questions for them. Then if you have any question for the admission team, you can contact us anytime, as you know. This is a session dedicated to students. So we can start. We have already some questions for you. So I just wanted to ask to the 3 of you to talk about you a little bit, about your background, since you are from 3 different countries with different backgrounds. I would like you to tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, hello everyone. First of all, I'm Ioannis. I'm 26-year-old from Greece. I did my bachelor's in City University in London in business. Then I took some time, I was working in the yachting industry. So my decision to come here was pretty obvious because it's one of the few universities in the world, if there are any other actually, that have yachting related master's degrees.
Hi everyone, my name is Nour. I'm Lebanese. I'm turning 23. I also have a business background. I did a double degree in Lebanon and Paris at ESSEC Business School before working for a bit and then doing my master's in luxury brand management here with a minor in yachting, just like Ioannis.
Hello, my name's Alex. I'm from London. I'm 25. I come from a finance background. I've been visiting Monaco for a couple of years and thought maybe I'd try to do a master's here. And I do brand management with Nour and diamonds as well.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. And well, since the 3 of you, you have a business background already, so your bachelor degree was basically in finance or business anyway. Why did you choose to have a master's degree in business as well?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to work in yachting. So since there's no studies concerning just yachting, obviously you have to start from somewhere. And I thought that a business degree would be the most relevant to help me in my careers afterwards. And in that perspective, I think that it was the right choice. If I did something else, I don't think it would be that relevant. In business, at least you get to learn some of the basics, which you're going to use in pretty much every industry. So as a first step, I think it was like the most logical one.
For my part, I've always had a very entrepreneurial mind and I always strive for achievement. And in my opinion, a business degree was what was going to get me closer to a career where achievement would always be present and would continue being present throughout my entire life and my entire career.
Yeah, likewise for me, I've come from a business background in finance, and I thought it would be nice mainly to study in Monaco and do a degree with the business element attached.
Okay, great. Very, very clear. And concerning this part, so still regarding the background, I have a question more for Alex and Ioannis, since you joined the program starting from September. So did you actually benefit from the fact that you met people with different kind of backgrounds? Because in September, we have people with any kind of background, basically, very far from the business one as well. So did you benefit from it or not? Which is your experience?
Yeah, I personally did, because there's some group work you do, and it's nice having people from, say, the art background who can do the sort of artistic on the presentations and people who do a bit of economics if we need to do numbers or accounting. So it's nice that in the group you have people who can give different things to the work.
Yeah, plus it's like the whole assignments usually is based on group work, and like we understand that you need to have some business aspects on the first semester, like accounting and basic marketing stuff, which someone from a business background already has, but someone from a more creative, let's say, background doesn't. So we understand that this needs to be happen. And firstly, it helps us to refresh our memories, because for me, that I'm 26, I finished university already 5 years ago. So even though I've been taught some of these things, it was useful to hear them again. And as Alex said, like it combines within the group people with different backgrounds, and especially for me, that I personally I wouldn't say I'm creative. So having some group members with more artistic background really helped, especially in some of the modules.
Okay, very interesting, actually. And now the question is for Nour, because she joined the program. You joined the program actually from January, because just for people who are listening right now, we have an intake in January as well, but this is only for people who have a minimum of 240 European credits and a business academic background already. So the question is, how was the integration starting in January in the class? Who started actually in September? Was it fine? Was it difficult?
So I joined in January because just like I mentioned, I did the double degree and I had 240 credits approximately, a bit more maybe. And I wanted to continue working for the year. So when I saw that there was an option to start in January, I was very interested by it. When I joined, it wasn't just me or just 5 people. We were many, and I would say between 50 and 100 approximately. And it was very fun. We were integrated very easily. The classes very easy to catch up to, since they all restarted basically in January. We fit in immediately, made friends within the same day. I would say it was very easy, and it was very beneficial to be able to start in January.
Great, and this is good to hear, because sometimes people are scared actually. So it's good to know it. So right now, I have a question regarding the courses, basically. So during the first term, you have some courses. During the second term, you have different ones. So far, which has been, for each one of you, the most interesting one among the ones you attended?
Well, I'll do a surprise here. I wouldn't say yachting, which would be the obvious solution. And I think it would be the introduction to the luxury market by Professor Annalisa, because yachting, I had an idea, I was already working in it. It's very interesting to me still, but at the beginning, when we started the introduction to the luxury market, it wasn't so interesting at first, because we're looking at every sector of the luxury industry, which is obviously a lot to take in, and especially for a person like me who's not really connected to luxury other than this part. But in the end, I think it was one of the best classes, because it was long, but it was important, because all topics are connected to each other, and you need to have some basic knowledge from all possible aspects, even that's hospitality, hotels, clothes, any kind of brands. I mean, it was really, really good in the end. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I got to appreciate it later.
For my part, I think that every class in which, we were able to voice our opinions and debate on certain topics was interesting, because luxury is a very broad term, and we each have our own, I wouldn't say definition, but our own understanding of it, especially coming from very, very different backgrounds. So in my opinion, my favorite class was Professor Klaus's customer experience. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very innovative, something that we didn't necessarily learn in our bachelor's, and that really prepares us for the future career world that we're getting into, as most of the brands are starting to invest more into experiences rather than products. So I thought it was very, very interesting.
No, mine, I thought the first semester was essential, so it gave you knowledge, as they were saying. But for me personally, the two now, which is digital strategy, which is very interesting for social media influencers and sort of how to leverage that, and the diamonds course, which art personally I thought was one of the best subjects I've had.
Great. It's very interesting how, the fact that for each one of you, obviously you're different people, so there are different things that you appreciated. And regarding this topic, since our program, the structure we propose is about basically 10 months only in class instead of a regular, let's say, master program we can find usually in the market, which is more about 2 years. So my question is, since you have only 10 months in class, is the program for you is too intensive or it's fine? This is a good way to exploit the Monaco environment. How do you feel it? It's too much for having a master's program in 10 months, basically in class, or it's feasible?
Overall, I think it's kind of balanced because we have to think that some of our professors are also professionals, which means they're not full-time professors and lecturers, which means that they cannot come to class every week. So that gives some balance because some weeks we're we have more lenient program, and some weeks it's more heavy because someone's coming from another country that he works in to teach. So he only has 1 week, so that week is more heavy on the schedule, whereas some other weeks are a bit more chill, but overall, I think it's kind of balanced.
In my opinion, I think that when we sign up to be students, we know that it's going to be a program that's within 10 months. So obviously we're going to complain because we're students. It's a part of it. But I think it's very beneficial. I think we know what we're signing up for. I think we're students in the end. It's going to be hectic. There's going to be exams. There's going to be homework. But overall, I think it was more benefits than anything else.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Nour. I think you know what you're signing up to. It's 10 months. It's a master's. We get occasionally an afternoon off, a day off, but it all depending on the week. But you get the master's at the end of it.
Okay, great. Yes, this is the plus basically. Instead of saying other 2 years in class, you can have 10 months and then start working with the internship part already. So
if
great.
I can add, we have a lot of time off, honestly, especially not, I wouldn't say right now. Some of our classes are more intense now because we're reaching the end, obviously reaching finals. But when I compare to other students in other schools, honestly, we have some time off. Like we have afternoons off, we have 3 hours in a day between classes to just go have lunch, walk around Monaco. I wouldn't say it's that intensive.
Okay, good to know. Because this is actually one of the questions we receive pretty often. So it's good to hear about the fact that it's intensive, but not too much. Basically, it's absolutely feasible, if I understand well. Regarding the courses, since we have different specializations and different electives, I would like to ask you a little bit more to each one of you. Which specialization and which elective did you choose? Maybe why, and how it's gonna be, how is it going so far?
Well, as I said, I chose the yachting elective because I already had experience in it and I wanted to further my knowledge. And I had my reservations, let's say, because I understand that yachting is not a science. It's not easy to be taught. It's not mathematics. So I appreciate how the university has this approach where they have one academic professor and one from hands-on experience in the industry. So they divide the lessons between more academic and more theoretical, and one class that's by Professor Filippo, who is more practical. And what he does is, as I said, because it's not a science, one person cannot know everything. So Dr. Filippo does this, in my opinion, is the best thing you can do. He brings almost every class, he brings someone else who has expertise on the exact thing he's teaching that day. If he wants to teach chartering, he'll bring someone who works at a brokerage. When he wants to teach shipbuilding, he'll bring someone who works in a shipyard, which is, I think, the best way to go forward because one person cannot know it all.
I'll have to agree with him. I also chose yachting. At the beginning of the year, I was very torn between entrepreneurship and yachting. And I figured that since I've done entrepreneurship my entire education within my bachelor's and everything, where else would I get the opportunity to learn a bit about yachting, especially knowing that most of us want to work with ultra high net worth individuals. So it was kind of I'd rather go for this and be able to learn it now instead of never learning about it. Just like you said, it was very interesting. Learning about professionals in the domain was very, very beneficial, to be honest.
For Nour and I do brand management together, and my elective is diamonds. Obviously, I spoke about that earlier. Yeah, I think it's been one of the best courses I've taken. The Alberta, the professor, is a very well-known dealer here, and every other week he would have someone come in from GIA, really specialists. He would bring some of the stones in, different gems, which something if you're not in that world, you wouldn't be able to see and touch and get a hands on. And he invited us to the showroom, which I think has been invaluable for me. And I couldn't recommend that elective more.
Okay, this is great actually because yes, through the specializations and through the electives, the idea is to give people the possibility to make the program a little bit more personalized. So this is the idea. So it is very interesting to hear about it. Regarding the personalized approach, I have another question, which is more related to the dimension of the classes. So what we usually say, because actually we have in total 900 students in IUM here at school, is the fact that we have a human size dimension, mainly if we compare to other universities all around the world. So I just wanted to know from you if you agree with this statement, if you feel the fact that you are in, let's say, pretty small classes, if we can talk about pretty small, about 40, 50 or 60, instead of being in a class about 200 people at the same time, if you feel it, if you appreciate it, I mean, how are you living the fact of being in a human size dimension school?
Well, there's two aspects to it for me. First of all, as I said, I was at City University in London, which meant that every lecture there was 200-300 people. We don't have that here, obviously, which is, first of all, it helps a lot because you have a personal connection with the professors. They know you by name. Whenever you have a question, you can always go to them, feel free to ask. Like there's this climate with the professor that helps you engage more, doesn't put you aside if you didn't understand something and the lecture just goes on. And the second thing is exactly because it's small number of students, it has a more friendly vibe, let's say, between the students. You pretty much know everyone at this point. We've been here 8 months. I don't think there's a face that I haven't seen or a person I don't know or say hi to every morning, which also feels nice. It feels more personal.
I very much agree. And I'm very biased on the human-sized aspect because for my bachelor's, because I said I did a double degree, so the first university, I chose a very human-sized university as well in Lebanon. Every class was approximately 20 people as well. Before I then moved to a second Paris, which was the complete opposite. It was 300 people per class, massive. And since I came back to IUM, I've really come to appreciate having being a student in a human-sized university because just like he said, you get a personalized approach, you get a relationship with everyone, including the professors. You learn more about each other because the more you can engage in personalized conversations, the more you learn and the more you can offer. So I love that aspect of universities in general.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with both of them. I think it's very nice as a community at IUM. I have friends not just in my year, but in years below, which I've never had before. And I think in the long term, getting to know people is networking. I think hopefully some of us are going to say, some of us are going to go home, but you build a deeper rapport. And one more thing with the lecturers and the professors, they definitely know you better. And I think if you're struggling on a project or you want to ask more questions, they're more than willing to help, and we'll go that extra mile at the end of the class that I never had at my previous uni.
Okay, this is great actually because this is for us one of the main, let's say, added value we can offer and propose thanks to the dimension of the place. And in some way, for us, IUM is pretty much as Monaco, so very small but very international at the same time. So it's nice to hear the fact that you appreciate this part. Well, now I have a question which is more related to the field trip. So field trip is basically, just to explain a little bit to people participating, 1 week abroad. Usually is in February or March, where the class just go to experience basically what students learn in class. It is not mandatory, so I just wanted to understand if you joined the field trip this year and how was it?
So Nour and myself, we went. It was very good experience. We went to the caring factory, which you know, if you're a normal, you couldn't do. We saw where Gucci is produced. We saw the whole shipment process all automized. It was very nice seeing things we'd learned in class, actually, you know, in person, and see just how big, you know, we're talking about at the factories. And just sort of the insights. We went to Milan, and our teacher Annalisa had a lot of connections and places I don't think I could go without her being there.
So I thought it was very, very fun. First of all, honestly, that's most of why we went there, because we wanted to have fun, but it was also extremely enriching. Just like you mentioned, we visited factories, places we never could have seen even online. These are like hidden aspects of the factories that they don't share with the public. We went to consultancy companies, which I've never been in personally because I've never thought of going to a consultancy company, but we went to Bain Company, we went to Deloitte, and it was really, really interesting talking to them, especially about the data they had gathered that specific year, that they shared with us personally. It was very different from just reading it online. We also went to, after going to Milan, we went to Franciacorta in Italy, and we had the amazing opportunity of going to the Porsche Experience Center. I think it was the highlight of our trip for every single one. We saw so many beautiful things, and we also met the director of Porsche in Franciacorta in Italy, which just meeting these people in general, being able to ask them questions, being able to know what they've done, how they've reached this point, it's very inspirational, and it's always a plus.
I'd just like to add as well, depending on which specialization you did, there was 2 different sort of activities each day. So for the hospitality, they did the Armani Hotel, and we would go, I don't know, to another, and then we would come back at the end of the day, speak about our experiences, and we would get time off in the evenings to go out with your friends or whatever you wanted to do, which was nice.
Okay, I see. So it was a little bit personalized on the basis of the specialization you are attending. Okay, great. Well, now regarding the, well, let's say hottest part, I would say, because usually this is one for sure of the most common question we have. So we know that to finalize the program, you have to choose a project. The capstone project is the general name. The most part of you usually choose the internship. Then just for people attending, just to explain better, students can choose among internship, research, and applied research thesis, and entrepreneurial project. So my question is, especially for the internship, obviously, how is the research? I mean, and how the career department is supporting you, if you feel the fact that career department propose you activities and events in order to help you build connections and find, let's say, the best internship or placement possible. How is work?
Well, the career department does a lot of work. So they try a lot. They do all these fairs and networking events. But overall, it's up to you in the end to take advantage of as much possible. And even being here, you have opportunities, even with some of the professors who are also professionals. If they see a student who's very interested in something and they know someone, they will personally help out. Or by just being in Monaco, you can, if you want to take advantage of it, you can and find something. But overall, it's not dependent on what the career service does. Although they do a lot of stuff, it's up to you in the end of the day to exploit that stuff, because they don't bring just employers to hire you just like that. You have to do something. You have to make them, like, persuade them. You have to be there first of all, because if you're lazy and you don't want to go, because these are usually after hours, after the standard university times, and if you're gonna go home and relax, well, you're gonna miss out. These happen all the time, so you have to be updated, keep up. It's they try a lot, but in the end, I think it's up to the students to find the internship.
No, I 100% agree with what Ioannis just said. They do a lot and they are always available, which means that if you ever need some personalized assistance during like private time, we have our career development services that with whom you can book a private session for like 30 minutes, bring your CV, have them take a look at it, get you their opinion. And they especially help a lot with the alumni network that they have, which is excellent. So if you ever decide that you want to work, I don't know, let's say yachting in Monaco, they're going to connect you with people who are currently working yachting in Monaco and also studied at the university, which is a very interesting aspect. Just like Ioannis mentioned, there's a lot of networking cocktails. They also organize fair days, which, for example, we had the luxury days, there was the sports management days, in which companies from each respective domain came and they interviewed a bunch of people, and I know some people who got their internships through that. However, one thing I do want to say is that people join the university and they get very excited and they just think that, oh, I'm going to study, I'm going to do my exams, and I'm just going to get an internship. For sure, I'm going to get an internship. The real world never works like that, and it's never going to be the case. The job market at the moment is extremely hard. We are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of students trying to compete for the same exact jobs. And if you don't work on yourself and you don't make the efforts yourself, you're not going to get anything, nothing at all. Sure, there's some people who got lucky and they got internships at the beginning, but I would say that over 50 of us, we worked very hard to try to get to where we are right now. And yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah. No, just to add to what they said, I think one thing about being here in Monaco, networking. If you're looking for an internship, you have I would say in the luxury world, you have a higher chance of getting one here rather than say somewhere else. Another thing I think the career department does very well, they send a weekly sort of news bulletin with loads of internships that are looking. Obviously, then you have to go and approach them, but I think they give it to you, and what you do with that information is up to you. But if you are determined, you can definitely get something. And another thing, the CV workshop, what Nour was saying, I believe, they can help you. So if your CV isn't looking too good, or like mine was in a different format to the European style, they help you, which I'm very grateful for.
And it's what Alex said about being in Monaco is very interesting, because I even have friends that went with their CV door to door knocking at companies just to try to find an internship. And some people might say that's crazy, I'm not going to go to a company. You either do that or you're at the same level as everyone else, just sending your CV by email. So it gives you that opportunity, that plus of being able to go to a company straight up, introduce yourself, talk to them directly. It's a very interesting world.
Amazing. This is exactly what actually we try to explain, but I mean, your experiences are the reality. So the fact that we have a career department, they're extremely active, they propose a lot of different things, but then it's up to you, up to the students to be dynamic, be curious, be proactive. Otherwise, as you perfectly said, it's going to be tough as anywhere in the world. And concerning the fact of being in Monaco that you just mentioned, I have a question regarding the fact that Monaco is considered, because is actually a luxury hub, globally speaking. I mean, and which is, in your opinion, the plus of attending a program dedicated to the luxury management in Monaco? So being in the place where, I mean, the luxury is some way is the pillar.
Well, as I said, I'm interested in yachting, and Monaco is the heart of yachting in Europe. So you get out of university and you're in Port Hercules in front of all these yachts, in front of all these brokerages and agencies, and it's right here in front of you. All you have to do is do something about it, to hold on to it. Basically, the fact that you live here by itself doesn't mean something. You have an opportunity through you just being here to make sure you do something to stay afterwards and find something. But there's not a lot of places you get taught something and you go outside the door and you see it in front of your face.
For my part, if you want to work in luxury, I just figured out that I didn't figure it out, but I just came to the conclusion that no matter where you go in the entire world, when you say I studied in Monaco, they're gonna know Monaco. Whatever it is, even if you don't mention your program, even if you don't mention the school, if they don't know the school, they're gonna know Monaco. So, and they're gonna know Monaco as we know it, as the hub of luxury, as the center of luxury. So knowing that there's everything around you and that internationally they're gonna know where you're studying, it's just a plus. And just like I mentioned, the companies are all around you. You can just go up to them. You can talk to them. You could be sitting in a bar or in a cafe, and next to you, there's the owner of a company in Monaco that works in jewelry, and you want to work in jewelry. So it's right there.
Definitely what Nour said. I think the name Monaco carries a lot of weight. And I think if that is the sort of luxury world you want to go into, I don't think there's a better place. So I'm doing an internship in diamonds and investing, and I got it through my professor who I've bumped into just out and about, and I got it like that. And I don't think that would have happened back in London. So
Okay, this is very interesting because I mean, for sure, even if this is the oldest master program dedicated to the luxury business, it is not the only one, obviously, proposed worldwide. So it's important to understand which could be the plus of doing it in Monaco. So right now I have a question related to the, let's say, multicultural environment of the school. We have right now more than 70 different nationalities at school. And I think in the Master in Luxury Management, we're about 40. I just wanted to understand if you feel the international environment, if you face any difficulties in class to, I don't know, work together with people coming from very different cultures or countries. I mean, if it is something that you're appreciating or if it's something that you have to face with in, let's say, the hardest part.
Well, first of all, you do see it here. We're from 3 different countries, and almost all big European universities, let's say, are multicultural, but you don't get to experience it if you don't choose it. If you're in a hall having a lecture with 300 people, there can be 300 nationalities. You don't get to meet all of them. Whereas here, there's 70 nationalities within this university. You have a class with almost every one of them. A 20, 30, 40 people class, you have to interact with each other. You're in the same groups. So you actually you cannot just stick to your own, let's say, decide not to be part of it. You have to be part of it. And it's only good for anyone, I guess.
I very much agree. Monaco as a whole is very international. People come, they think there's only going to be French or Italian, but you're walking in the streets and you're hearing every single language around you. I'm Lebanese for my part, and I've heard random people talking Arabic just walking by me. It's very interesting and it's very fun. We went out for dinner not a long time ago with my friends, and we realized that we were 9 people and 9 different nationalities having Georgian food, which I've never had in my life, which was very interesting. You just learn about different cultures, you open yourself to the world. And I think that coming to Monaco, it was one of our goals, every single one of us, to open up more to the world, to meet new cultures, meet new people. It's just what we're getting.
yes, no, definitely. I think from a learning perspective as well, hearing views from different nationalities and different sort of cultures in sort of the learning environment is very interesting as well. And on another point, one of our friend, obviously we're all multicultural, one of our friends, we take it in turns to cook our own national dish for each other. And that's been very nice, trying Indonesian foods or, Georgian food, as Nour said. So it's nice.
Also a big help for the future, because in the future, I assume that every single one of us is going to be traveling, whether for business, whether for leisure, whether for anything at all. So knowing people from almost 70 countries in the world is just beneficial.
For sure, it's part of the networking we were mentioning, but in the funniest part as well. So one last questions from our side, then we can leave the floor to the participants. So, well, you're here right now, currently student, but if you have to give a suggestions to people who want to apply, something that you didn't know at the moment of your application, that you didn't know before coming right here, something that you would like to say, to give as a suggestions to people before coming right here, what would you say?
Well, one suggestion would be, first of all, to have a more open mind, because at the beginning of the year, as I said, it's more general information, which I thought was useless for me, like having fashion or clothing and diamonds information, but it's all connected. It's a foundation. Like, you have to be a bit patient. Yes, you'll get to the exact part you want, but everything is connected. You need the foundation to be able to build on exactly the sector you're interested in. But at the beginning, it can be a bit tough, but you have to keep an open mind.
I agree with what he said. Having an open mind is very important. I also think that one thing that's very important is making yourself heard. Don't ball up, don't keep yourself on the side, go to events, speak up in class, give your opinion, because in the end, something I was thinking about was, when I leave the school, if I ever need anything for work, anyone to replace someone at work, anything whatsoever, it's not going to be the quiet people that I'm going to remember. And it's the same for the professors, it's the same for the professionals that come almost every single day to our school. We see professionals. They're not going to remember you if you don't make yourself remember. It's impossible. You have to speak up. You have to, even if your opinion is different, don't be shy, speak up. No one cares. My second advice is try as much as possible to find an apartment close to school. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the academics and with the school in general, but it's been very helpful. And I wouldn't say, how do I put this into words? It has been kind of harder for people who live a bit further. So what I would say is try your best to find something around the school.
No, I think Nour makes two very good points. I would say mine would be just get involved. So in the first couple months when I came, I wasn't going to all the things I probably should have done. But now I try and go to everything, and it honestly makes the experience more enjoyable. And if you are looking to come from a non-EU country, just make sure you have your visa sorted, and the living situation, just be close to uni. It makes it so much easier for you. If your friends last minute say, hey, do you want to get a drink? Do you want to go to this event? If you're coming all the way from Nice, like quite a lot of our friends do, it makes it more difficult.
Then in the end, it's not to scare anyone off. If you do not find an apartment around and you end up living in Nice, it's not the end of the world. There are so many students that live in Nice. You can always figure it out.
Yeah, the majority, I think, live in Nice, actually.
Okay, great. Very, very interesting. Thanks a lot. So here we have, well, quite a lot of questions already. So start from the first one, and then we will go through them. From Lucia, basically, what has been your most difficult challenge in the program, and how did you overcome it?
Well, my biggest challenge was that all the assignments at the first semester especially were all group assignments, and it was a group that we got assigned into. And I noticed they take care of the groups. They don't just put same nationalities. Like, you'll never see two Italians on the same group. They do it on purpose, and it gets on your nerves at the beginning. But you have to find a way to find the balance, because it's people you just met a day before, and now you're a group and you'll be together for the next 5 months. So you shouldn't let yourself get like personally involved in any feuds you may have between two people inside a 5 or 6 person group, because it will hold you back for the whole semester. So you have to, as I said, keep an open mind. Don't start any fights with anyone. Just be relaxed. You'll find a way. You can talk to the professors. Everything is okay.
I think you should learn to get on with your group, because in the workplace, you're not going to be working with people that are necessarily your friends. But to go from that, my group that I was with the first semester, some of them are my closest friends, and I learned a lot from them because they came from different backgrounds, and a lot of that knowledge I learned from them, I can now transfer into the groups I'm with now. So, yeah, do you have
Well,
anything?
No.
everything.
My opinion, yeah, I don't think I had such a big difficulty or such a big challenge. I think it's a challenge to everyone when you move to a country where you don't know anyone and you end up living alone and you have to join a university every single day with people you've never met in your life. But I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I think it's a part of the challenge. I think we sign up for it. It's very interesting. And again, getting out of your comfort zone. It's never easy, but it's always beneficial.
Amazing. And I think the next question is about what you just said. So, are the group projects difficult? So, maybe the answer is yes, they can be difficult. I don't know which is your opinion, but then it's something that can enrich you. Did I understand well?
Yeah, I think if you you know each other's strengths in your group and you sort of assign the tasks and make sure to do it in a timely manner and not to sort of leave it all to one person or two people, because obviously if you do that, the task will be difficult. But if you spread it equally and all get your part done on time, I think they are doable. Some of them are more difficult than others. Some of them are bigger, but
Great. So right here, well, another question regarding what you said, where most of the students live. So basically, as you perfectly said, students live between, let's say, Nice and Monaco, or on the other side, Menton. We have different places. Basically, tell me if I'm right, but the perception is the fact that 50% more or less of the class, we're talking about luxury management, obviously, is more in Nice, closer to Nice, the 50% closer to Monaco. I don't know. I mean,
I would say Beausoleil.
Yeah, I would agree.
Beausoleil, which is just
Beausoleil.
on the border of Monaco. You can literally just walk to Monaco. I would say there's a big community there, about maybe 25%, the other 25% Nice and the surrounding areas. And
Cap d'Aille as well,
Yeah.
Menton.
there's
Yeah.
some of us that live in Monaco itself as well. So there's
Some even live in Italy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some live
Some live in
towards
Ventimiglia
Ventimiglia
and-
and these areas.
Yeah, sorry, the when I said Monaco, obviously I was not, it's something obvious for us, but it's very important to specify. I was referring more to Beausoleil or Cap d'Aille because I think 5% of the students live in Monaco, no more, because actually Monaco is pretty expensive. It's pretty difficult to find an apartment. So yes, absolutely. Right. So when I was mentioning, let's say, closer to Monaco, like in the villages around Monaco, so still in France, since it's very easy to reach the university. We have train station just in front of the school, otherwise walking distance, buses. But for sure, there are different solutions. We have as well AVA and the Student Service Department to support students with some suggestions and advices to find an apartment. We have a question by Annie. Does choosing the Monaco University Master Program make it easier to start working there when you graduate?
Long story short, yes. Of course it does. Of course, you're around everyone in Monaco, you're in Monaco, it definitely does.
Yeah. How you think IUM can help you future challenges after graduation? So
Just like I mentioned, I think the alumni umbrella under which we are is very, very helpful. They're international. Just like we said, there's two parts of it. There's the people we're meeting right now, which are all over the world and are planning on going to the entire world. And there's also the alumni network that we have and that we're planning to have. That's also from all over the world. So no matter where you go, you met these people personally. It's a human-sized university. You know them, they know you. Anything you need, you could use. And any company you're applying for, you're definitely going to find someone that works for that company. If it's not at IUM, it's going to be in the alumni network, or it's going to be a part of the professionals you meet, the professors. It's going to be very beneficial.
if you had, okay. So, well, here a very simple question. How many electives can you choose per semester? So you can choose one, if I'm right. So one, a part of the yachting track, the other ones will be during the second term only. Lauren is asking, are you involved in any clubs or organization on campus? If so, can you please talk a bit about that?
So I'm not gonna answer that because I'm here for 6 months. So I didn't really join any, but Ioannis and Alex, please.
Yeah, I think there's a very active society, like student association society. We do a lot of events, and even certain clubs. Like I don't know, I'm in the football team. We have our weekly matches, practices and
Basketball
stuff.
team.
There's
Basketball. I'm in the finance, automotive club. There's karting. There's tennis. There's
Yacht.
Aquarian.
Sailing.
Yeah,
yeah,
sa-
and they all
sailing.
do stuff. They don't just exist. They
Right.
have weekly activities usually related to the.
Great. So this is something which can help you building connections. Yeah, for sure. We have a question. As I am 27 years old now, I will be not able to do my internship in Monaco. Does the career office help the students to find internships in their own country?
I think that depends where you come from. I know they do suggest other internships, say in Paris, in other countries, Germany, in London as well. So maybe if your country you're from comes up, I'm sure they could help you.
There's also the option to not do an internship. There's the capstone projects are basically an internship, a thesis, or
An entrepreneurial project.
an entrepreneurial project. Sorry, most of us choose the internship, but people who already have experience who don't necessarily want to do an internship usually go for either the thesis or the entrepreneurial project, which is basically just developing your own entrepreneurship project.
Great. Here we have a question from Alice. After the internship, did you receive some job offers? Was it useful for opening up career paths?
Well, we're still currently on the master's program, but I know some friends that did have internships and they received job offers in the same career, in the same job. But well, I hope some of us will get a permanent place after the internship.
Great. Yeah, because you're currently student, so maybe this is a question more for an alumni we will host in the future. We have a question regarding the specialization in hospitality and events. So if I'm right, Ioannis, you are attending. Yeah, okay. Can you please just let us know a little bit more?
I can see actually that half of the hospitality class is specifically interested in events management. And there is a class which is the longest one I think we've had all semester, because it starts from January and goes all the way through May. I think it's like 40 classes we have from this, which is events and PR management. And the major assignment actually in this class is to organize an event on behalf of the university that all students, I hope you will attend to.
We're very excited to join. We've seen some snippets. Very fun.
So yes, it is like closely related. The hospitality events is part of hospitality industry.
Okay, great. Different topic. How expensive it is to live in Monaco?
That's very relative, because expensive isn't really black or white. It depends. But I don't know. Do any of you have a clear
Depends if you
answer?
live in Monaco. So what I didn't know before I came here, although I came for work or for holidays before, but you don't really get to see it and understand it if you just come for holidays. Most of the people live in Beausoleil. They don't live in Monaco, which is basically one building and have one entrance in Monaco and the other one in Beausoleil. The rents are way different. So if you find a house there, it's actually normal. I would say
Yeah, for
London
example,
prices.
comparing to London or Paris that you
Oh,
mentioned.
it's cheaper. I think it's cheaper than London.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
just to have an
depends.
idea. Okay.
And
Yeah,
I think
because
it's just a bit more expensive than Paris.
okay, but
terms
cheaper
of,
than London.
Dinner, lunch, these kinds of things.
Okay, in between Paris and London.
I mean, it depends where you live. If you live
Yeah.
in Beausoleil,
And how you want to live, because we have
That's why I
students
said it
like
was
classmates
relative.
that are on a tighter budget and they they can manage with way less money. And we have also classmates who are on an upper scale, and they decide to have a more expensive lifestyle. But it's up to you. You can do anything you want, pretty much.
It's very feasible. It just depends on what lifestyle you wanna follow. It just depends on that. But most of us, I would say, we're not spending every weekend on yachts, dancing and
Doing
partying.
parties.
We're just regular students going out for dinner, going out for lunch every now and a while.
Okay, very clear. Thanks. Different question. I have 29 years old now. Does the age matter? Isn't it too late to apply for the master?
Well, the old guy.
Yeah, he's the oldest one.
Well, I don't think so. There is the restriction that you won't be able to find an internship in Monaco. Yes,
That's right.
because if you're above 27. But other than that, like doing a master's degree, no. If the master's is what you're interested in and not the internship itself, you can 100% do the master and do a thesis or entrepreneurship program. So I don't think age. I actually think it makes you better, because if you already have work experience, when the professor says some things, you can understand better than someone who's 22 and just finished university. So I think it's even better.
30-year-olds. There are a lot of 30-year-olds, 29
and more.
Yeah.
Kind of like 40.
Yeah, even more. Yeah. Yeah, you're not the oldest one of the class.
I would say I'm the youngest. I'm 22. I think I'm a part of the youngest group in the master's.
You're part of the youngest. Yeah. This is absolutely true. Then, I mean, there's not only the option of an internship in Monaco. You can do the internship anywhere you want. So you have different options and solutions a part of the law here in Monaco about the internship age. Annie again asked, can I get an internship or work if I only know English?
Yes, you can. I mean, I only speak English. I don't know if you have another language, but some jobs do require French, unfortunately. But no, I've had no problem finding one, and I only speak English, so you should be okay.
Great. How much the insurance costs in France?
If you can do the basic ones.
Depends where you're from. If you're French, it's free. Then the rest, I don't know. Do you know?
I think it was like 300 euro per year if you only do the mandatory ones, and then it's up to you whatever you want to do.
I think if you contact the academic services, they will for sure give you every single bit of information you could possibly need. And there's also WhatsApp groups where they keep sending information, where I'm sure you will find that information if you send an email to the academic services.
Great. What is the best way to find accommodation?
That's tough.
I would say it's talking to people who already live there and are about to leave. Honestly, in my opinion, that's the best way to guarantee you find an apartment. It's harder than just going on websites and contacting landlords, etc. But in my opinion, it's the most trustworthy. It's the best way to find an apartment.
Use the WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
As soon as you get admitted, you'll get into so many WhatsApp groups with everyone, and then your class, and then your use this.
Roommates,
yes, and do everything, because people here don't speak English. I mean, especially the real estate agents. They don't speak English. They don't like it when you speak English. So it's quite tough. That's one of the biggest challenges, I think.
I think the way I did it, I just came to visit for a weekend, and I set myself one goal, and that was to find an apartment. So if you can do that, or you have the time to do that, maybe just spend a long weekend and just think, I've got one task. If you see one you like, see a couple, just go for it.
There are a lot of people who contacted the academy just to get inside the WhatsApp group where they send apartment offers. Like, there are some students texting right now saying, hey, I'm joining next September or in September, and I'm looking for an apartment, or I'm looking for a roommate, or whatever, and they just all talk together.
Sure. So great. Well, here we have a question I can answer. How much are the tuition fees? So for September 2024, we are about 28,000 euros for the entire program. We do not have the price for January yet. Theodora is asking, do I need to have bachelor's degree in business? And what is the process of getting into the university? No, you do not. We just mentioned the fact that you can have different backgrounds. The process to get into the university, you can start it online on the homepage of the website. Then if you have any other question related to the process, you can write us an email. Here I have a question for you guys again. hello, are there any luxury associations you are part of?
There are many. There's the Luxury Association of IUM. There's also luxury associations, I would say, for example, YPY, that are in Monaco that you can join, which is a yachting association. There's many of these. There's the Luxury Club, if I'm not wrong, that you can join. Am I missing anything?
Okay, there are different ones. Here we have a question. Well, we already talked a little bit about it. Is it possible to live in Nice? Is
Yes.
not too far? Well, it's not too far. It's possible to know. I mean, you already explained the fact that it's feasible, a little bit harder, but feasible, right?
Yeah, there's a train. There's a direct train from Nice, which
To the door of the
literally
university.
just where the
Yeah.
UB is. So
20
yeah.
minutes.
Okay, great. Does Monaco is a safe place to study and live, in your opinion? How is the town?
The safest
It's
of
the safest
safest,
ever.
honestly.
London, Paris.
It's
Yeah, maybe safer.
And the
Incomparable.
town itself is very good. There's always I always bump into friends, people. There's always
security
yeah,
everywhere.
it's good. It is very good.
I haven't heard of one bad thing so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Monaco is the safest country in the world. Well, so you're totally right. Here we have a question from Saumia. Sorry if I pronounce not properly your name, guys. Have you taken up any part-time work opportunities while studying? Additionally, has work experience prior to the master course helped you with the course or getting internship in Monaco?
I haven't. I don't have you. No, we haven't, but we know a lot of people who have. The only requirement is make sure it's flexible because your schedule is going to fluctuate a lot. So just make sure it's on your own hours, that you have time to study, especially because it's your priority as a student. And has work experience prior to the course helped us? Of course. Once you get out of university, honestly, most companies are looking for experience. The more you have done, the more you have worked, even if it's freelance, part-time, whatever it is, it's going to help you.
Great. What is your favorite part about IUM?
My part is the diversity.
Yeah, I think it's about meeting people in sort of environment here. Then say we finish early, we go for a drink on the beach, or then we do work together. It's very, very nice, the sort of environment. And then being able to carry that environment and friends into the Monaco sort of town.
With Alex.
Yeah.
Great. What are each of you hoping to do post graduation? Do you have anything lined up already?
Well, I've got an internship lined up, sort of in the diamonds and jewelry world, which is in Monaco. So that's my plan for the next 6 months.
Mine is going back to the Middle East. I plan on going back to the Middle East quite soon, and that's as far as I have.
Well, I was at the beginning thinking of an internship, but after spending some time here and with already 4 or 5 years work experience, I think now I'm looking for a job, not just an internship, because if you have prior experience already in the field you want to work in and you have the master's as well, I think it's more feasible to have a job than an internship. It's also doable.
Thanks. Is there a lot of math on the classes?
No, there's no, not that
We
much.
can reassure people. Sometimes they're scared about math. Okay. Already answered to this one, work and studying at the same time. Well, how many clubs can we be part of during the courses?
As many as you want, if you have enough
Manage your
time.
time, yeah.
But a lot of the events, these clubs, it will be at the weekends or say on a Thursday evening. So you would have to probably balance if you were part of a lot, study, friends, and doing the clubs.
Great. Ram is asking, do you provide the internship to everyone? If yes, elaborate on the program. So if I understood well the question, so basically as our guests just explained, basically, we help you and support you. So the career department helps and supports you. Then it's up to you to find one, 100%, I think. And it has to be consistent with the program. This is the main reasons why doing an internship, basically. Coming from another countries, how did you find housing near the university? So your personal experience.
My part, I struggled a lot to find an apartment, a lot. And I found mine 5 days before starting, surprisingly enough, on Facebook. Now, would I recommend Facebook to find an apartment? Probably not. I got lucky, but that's how I found mine.
I found mine on Studapart, which is a site suggested from the university, specifically for university students. And I was lucky to find one there. Most people didn't because there are not a lot of apartments. But if you manage to do, it's very safe because you also get a student guarantee.
I came, I visited, and I set myself a goal to find an apartment within a weekend, and I saw 10 very good options, and I just picked the best one.
Great. How long are the internships?
Between 4 and 6 months.
Exactly.
Minimum 4, maximum 6.
Great. Starting from July, right? You can start from July.
Not really maximum, just minimum 4.
That's a university standard. There are some, because we have a classmate who found an internship and it was mandatory 10 months if he wanted to take it. The university says just we needed 4 to 6. Now, if the company offers you a 10-month one or an 8-month,
or a 2-year graduate program as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's up to you to decide.
Clear. Do you think it is harder for non-European people to get internships in Monaco? What are your experiences with people you know in this situation?
I think it obviously depends what you offer. I mean, if you tick all their boxes, I don't think that should really matter because Monaco is very international. I'm British. I found an internship. So hopefully it would be okay for most people.
It is quite a bit more difficult. So you need to, I mean, I guess, I'm not sure, but I guess if they have a local and from a third country, non-EU, they would go for him. But I guess you have to offer something in return for them to take you and not them. But that also applies to Europeans. Even if, like me, I'm from Greece, I'm not local, I'm not French even. So it doesn't matter if you're European or if you're from a non-EU country, it's still difficult for them. They would prefer a local, but that's why you have to do something to compensate for that.
Great, yeah. To give a plus in some way for them to hire you instead of a local person. That's for sure. What is covered from September to January? Is it more beneficial to start in September, even if you have enough credits to start in January?
For my part, I didn't want to start in September. I wanted to start in January because I wanted to finish working. I had a contract going on with some clients, so I wanted to get to the end of it. I think it can be beneficial. If you start in January, you're not gonna lose much, but obviously in September you have more time, you get to meet more people, you get to experience more classes, more events. For example, there's the yacht show of Monaco during this period that I didn't get to see, but the people who came earlier did. Just depends on what you're looking for and what your priorities are.
I started in September and I felt I got to know a lot of people, and I feel obviously the summer's coming, but there was a lot more things going on in Monaco, and there was, like Nour said, the yacht events and the Cannes Yacht Show, which I found very interesting. So it really depends on your personal circumstances.
What kind of internship are students doing? For example, which kind of companies or roles?
So the internships have to be in alignment with your program. So if you're studying luxury, you have to do an internship in luxury. If you're studying automotive, most probably has to be in automotive. I'm not sure. I'm not in that program, but I'm assuming that's the case. Companies, honestly, anything and everything. Whether it's cars, whether it's luxury fashion, whether it's jewelry, whether it's consultancy, anything whatsoever, honestly.
Okay, so you have different possibilities and options, even if you are, I mean, attending a program specifically dedicated to the luxury business.
Endless possibilities, yes.
Okay. Well, gender ratio, well, I would say 30-70.
Yeah,
There's more girls than guys, for sure.
This is something typically happening. What are your tips to make friends and network easily when you start your master?
The first week, it helps a lot because the university, along with the student association, it does so many events. Basically, the first week is it's like it's made for you to make friends. You're gonna be out all day doing different kinds of stuff. You have so many opportunities that it's almost difficult not to make friends in that situation, I'd say.
I agree.
Okay. Nour, why are you only in Monaco for 6 months? I thought the January intake was 12 months. Well,
So just like in every other university, my last university, for example, they said it was 2 years for the second part, and they included my 6 months internship in the 2 years. So when you say my program ends in June, but my classes end in December, your internship basically counts as the program. So the January intake is 6 months of class, and then obviously 4 to 6 months of internship, but it counts as a 12-month program, which is the case for every other university.
yes, exactly.
And I'm not going to be in Monaco because I'm choosing not to do my internship in Monaco. That's the only reason.
Yeah. From Isabella on the website, it said students will get a chance to join events in Monaco. What are the events like?
For instance, after this, Nour and myself, there's a fashion show at the yacht club that we got invited to through the university. There's loads of things. There's the Cannes Yacht Show. There's cocktail network events, and obviously during the Grand Prix, the Student Association is doing.
There's discounts for every event
Yeah.
in Monaco. Every single event known to man, whether it's clubbing, whether it's just opportunities, whether it's also like talk shows with professionals, networking cocktails, anything. Honestly, every event in Monaco you can attend.
Great, this is very interesting actually. So next questions. We already in some way answered, because what has been the best course or event during your master program? So you already answered regarding the course. So what has been the best event you
We're
attended?
waiting for the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Basically, every single one of us.
I think it was a yacht show.
Yeah, yacht show. There was a
The yacht show
gala.
was amazing.
There was a very nice
It's
gala.
quite difficult to get in, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
But if you manage to, it's amazing.
There was a
Great.
nice gala last semester. We all black tie. It was nice seeing sort of people come out of their shell a bit.
And there's another one in
Yeah.
2 weeks approximately. So get your dresses.
Yeah. One last question. In which cities are the internship most offered? Paris, Monaco, London?
They are mainly offered in Monaco when we receive emails, and obviously it's much easier to get one in Monaco when you're in the city, but they're given everywhere. They literally propose internships from every city to every country in the entire world.
Amazing. Guys, thank you a lot. Really, it was extremely interesting. And well, if you have one last word, I don't know, or just thank you again. And
So much
see
for
you.
having us.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Enrica, there's just one last question.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
asked, where can I see the recordings afterwards?
Well, we will upload it on the YouTube page. Yes, so if you wanted to watch it again, if you missed the first part, you will find it on the YouTube page of the university. Thanks again, guys. Thanks
Don't
again.
forget to contact us if you have any questions as well.
Thank you very much on LinkedIn. You are on LinkedIn. They can contact you. Okay, amazing.
Have
Thanks.
to be on LinkedIn once you can. It's mandatory.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. It's mandatory. Here we have some people. Thank you as well. Thanks to participants, and thank you guys again. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.